Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Avanti Morocha. Today I'll review the Craft Express Tumbler heat press as well as some of their sublimation blanks. Thanks to Craft Express for sending me these products. All the opinions in this video are my own. Now let's begin. You should first read the manual. It will help you to understand how this machine works. I wish there had been more information on finding the correct pressure for the different blanks in this manual. Here is the switch to turn it on. Here is the control panel to set the temperature and time. This is the pressure handle. This is the tumble heater. And in the back you will find the pressure knobs. This press has been mainly made to be used with 12 to 30 ounce skinny tumblers. If you use a mag with this press, open the pressure knobs until the mag fits and closes properly. Turn on the machine and set the temperature and time in the control panel. Press set and enter the temperature you want. You can increase or decrease it using the up and down buttons. Press set and choose the time. Press the up and down arrows to modify the time. Press on set to save the values. Now wait until it reaches the temperature you want. I'll show you some of the products from Craft Express. These transfer sheets are great if you don't have a sublimation printer. You can make some tumble rods with it. They have small size transfer sheets that are great for Macs. These 4 instance transfer sheets are great to apply over textile and rigids. The following are all sublimation blanks. This is a 25 ounce tumbler. This is an 18 ounce tumbler. And they have a frosted glass finish. This is a 20 ounce Manson jar. And this is a 15 ounce sublimation mug. They also have sublimation tape. I'll leave the links to all these products in the info box below the video. I use my sublimation printer to print the designs I'll be using. This printer uses sublimation ink and paper. First, measure the circumference of the tumbler. Don't assume that all the tumblers in the case have the same rim. I found difference of 1 to 2 millimeters in diameter, which can be an issue if you make a full color wrap. I recommend taking a little extra time to measure the diameter. Remove the wooden cap and clean the tumbler with alcohol and a microfiber pad. This is mainly to remove any marks from the tumbler. Now let it dry. Make sure the wrap is of the right dimension. This kind of tumbler has some curves. Avoid extending your design into these areas because you will get a ghosting effect. Cover the tumbler with the wrap. If using a full color wrap, ensure the wrap overlap at least 2 to 3 millimeters. Close the wrap with the sublimation tape. I'll also add the sublimation tape to the top and bottom of the tumbler. The instructions of this product don't ask you to add a protector layer, but I prefer to add it to avoid any bleeding from the sublimation ink. I'll add a layer of butcher paper. If I use a full color wrap, I'll add 2 to 3 layers. Before turning on the machine, ensure you're using the correct pressure. At this time, my machine is off and cold. I'll place the tumbler. It should be tight inside, but not to the point that you can break the tumbler. Now, to run the machine, I'll be using a temperature of 356 degrees Fahrenheit and a time of 180 seconds. You will notice the moment your pressure handle is down, the machine will start the countdown automatically. I want to show you this because you won't see it from the other angle. I'll place the tumbler with the area of the tape facing up because I'll press it twice. This will remind me to rotate it 180 degrees. Close the press. I fast forward this part of the video. The temperature I'm using is 356 degrees Fahrenheit and the time is 180 seconds. One thing you will notice when you turn on this machine is a smell. I'm not a fan of this smell, but from what I read, it should disappear with the use. When the countdown reaches 0, you will hear a beep. Open it, turn the tumbler 180 degrees and press it a second time. I'm using the same settings. Remove the tumbler, make sure to use heat-resistant gloves. I'll turn off the machine and show you how the tumbler came out. First, I'll remove the protective layer. You may not see it, but there is some bleeding, which is why I like to use the extra layer. Now remove the sublimation paper and tape. As you can see, the design looks great. If you are using the proper pressure and settings, your sublimation paper should have a 15 to 20 opacity of residue. If the residue of the sublimation paper looks so clear, you need to adjust the settings. Remember, there will always be a residue of ink in the paper. This was not my first project with this machine, it is the fourth. I messed up at least 2 tumblers until I figured out the correct pressure, temperature, and time. I'll show you my mistakes so you don't repeat it. Here I didn't use the correct pressure and time, and the dimension of my design needed to be smaller. As you can see, most of the sublimation ink stayed in the paper. I was afraid to press the tumbler too much and break it, but that was a mistake. In this one, I should have added more pressure, increased the time, and reduced the design size. The third one looks much better. I used the correct pressure, the design was smaller, and I used the correct settings. Here I tried to fix an area with some imperfections, but fixing something that has already been sublimated is hard, and trying to fix it sometimes makes the error more notorious. I want you to see the comparison of the paper. The one on top is the best because it shows less residue in the paper. These press require a trial and error period, so don't get discouraged if the first and second project doesn't come out as you wanted. Now I'll show you how to press this tumbler with the design only on one side. As you can see, I cover the edges of the design with the sublimation tape. Now I'll add a piece of butcher paper as a protective layer. I'll press it using a temperature of 356 degrees Fahrenheit for 280 seconds. I fast forwarded this part of the video and put the tumbler with the part of the design facing down. Since this tumbler is clear, you can peek inside and add more time if needed. When the countdown gets to 0, open the press. If you are using these frosted glass tumblers, avoid using the wither tool to remove the tape and paper because you can scratch the finish. Remove the protective layer. Here the ink bleeding is more notorious. As you can see, the design came out perfect. The same as this one. Now I'll press a mug, but keep in mind this press has been made mainly for tumblers. You need to adjust the pressure knot until it allows you to put the mug inside and close it properly.
Now I'll place the Mac using a temperature of 356 degrees Fahrenheit for 280 seconds. I fast forwarded this part of the video, place the Mac and wait for the countdown to get to 0. When you hear the beep, open the press. Remove the butcher paper, tape, and sublimation paper. From this side, it looks pretty good, but from the other side, there is some ghosting at the bottom. So I need to play a little more with my settings.
I hope you like this video and find it informative. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. If you are interested in any of these products, I'll share the links where you can buy them in the info box below the video. If you are new to my channel and you like what you see, hit the subscription button, tap the notification bell so you get informed every time I release a new video. Don't forget to visit my blog, follow me on my social media, like this video and share it with your loved ones. See you soon! Ciao ciao!